Doug Stuman again with IT Creations. Today I have the WIO Supermicro A WIO SuperServer 1014S-WTRT. What does that WIO stand for? Wide I/O, as in a wide range of I/O options for this family of servers. Supermicro has a lot of categories of servers. There are mainstream servers, CloudDC, Ultra servers, Hyper servers, GPU servers, and I could go on for a bit. Lots of categories. Form factors for WIO servers range from 1U to 2U and short depth models, which could be construed as edge servers. Confused? Me too. Let's take a look. One more thing. That A+ in the name indicates this system features an AMD EPYC CPU. In this case, a 7003 or 7002 series processor, codenamed Rome or Milan, respectively. WIO servers are kind of a do-anything platform. They're designed for applications like database processing, firewall applications, and basic data center applications, which kind of covers a lot of ground. Got that right off the Supermicro site. That said, it can be configured to support a number of other applications not listed in that little blurb. It could still be used as an edge server, but it is a little long at a depth of 25.6 inches or 650 millimeters. There are two options for storage on the front of the chassis. Either 4 3.5-inch SATA 3 drive bays, which is the default configuration, or you can install up to 4 NVMe drives using a PCI 3.0 interface, which will require additional parts. The chassis does have a hybrid backplane, so SAS 3 could theoretically be an option if you install a controller, but since SAS drives are not listed at all, let's stick with the specs. SATA 3 and NVMe storage devices supported in 4 bays. Additional parts will be required for NVMe drive support. And now for that age-old question. Are you interested in the WIO Supermicro A WIO SuperServer 1014S-WTRT? If you are, then for a limited time you can save up to $500 off a system that's listed or one that you can configure at IT Creations that's valued at $5,000 or more. If you have done your research and came to the conclusion that this is the system for you, then just mention this video when you're ready to make a purchase to save. If you need a little more time on that important decision, then click that link for more information and maybe even configure a system to see what you're getting into. Nobody cares if you leave the configurator. Try it out now. Above, there's an optional slot for a slimline DVD-ROM drive, then a slot for an optional slim fixed disk drive, USB or COM port tray. Beside that, a small control panel with the usual cast of characters, unit ID button, information LED, NIC1 and NIC2, hard drives and power LEDs, then a reset button and a power on button. Around back, dual redundant power supply units, either 500 watts or 600 watts. Then 2 PCI expansion slots on the right. Between those, another low-profile PCI slot, and then the I/O panel with unit ID LED switch, 2 RJ45 LAN ports offering 10 gigabit per second, 4 USB 3.1 ports with a dedicated IPMI LAN port on top of that second USB stack, and lastly, a COM port. Supermicro offers several management utilities for this system. Here's the cliff notes. Supermicro SuperCloud Composer, Supermicro Server Manager, Supermicro SuperDoctor 5. Then there's also the Update Manager, Diagnostics Offline, a thin agent service, and a new one, the SuperServer Automation Assistant. The SuperCloud Composer is a software-defined composable infrastructure management tool for cloud applications. It offers automated deployment and provisioning, monitoring, predictive analytics, and more. It's more for cloud-based disaggregated infrastructures. On the other hand, the Supermicro Server Manager is more for managing a single server with traditional management tools, hardware monitoring, firmware management, out-of-band access, and it's compatible with IPMI and Redfish protocols. As you can see, I am ignoring the other ones. Cracking open the system, there is a plastic cowl for directing fresh air over the CPU and memory module slots. CPUs with a thermal design power rating of up to 280 watts can be installed from the AMD EPYC 7002 and 7003 series. At that TDP, CPUs can deliver up to 64 physical cores and 128 virtual threads. As each of the second and third generation CPUs also have 8-channel memory architecture, and there are 8 DDR4 memory module slots on the system board, each memory module will run in its own memory channel for optimal performance. Either registered, load-reduced, or even NVDIMMs can be installed and can run up to 3,200 megatransfers per second with 1 DIMM per channel. With 128 PCI 4.0 lanes supported, this WIO single-socket platform is covered for NVMe drives and GPU support. The main PCI slots are supported in 2 risers. There are 2 full-height, full-length PCI 4.0 by 16 slots, plus a low-profile PCI 4.0x16 slot. 2 slots on the system board can be used to install NVMe M.2 drives or SATA SSDs for more storage or to boot the system. They are listed in the specs as PCI 3.0x4 slots with a x1 link width, but I also saw a x2 link width. But the system board says differently even than those two. Perhaps the slots are limited on this particular board for this particular system. I never did crack the code on that one. Just know that you have boot options, including SuperDOM. Instead of the M.2 storage devices, you could also install 2 SuperDOM or disk-on-module storage devices for supporting the OS. Maybe not as fast as those M.2 drives, and tragically not recommended for RAID of any kind, including RAID 1 mirroring, but you can still install the OS or an OS image on the SuperDOM. Those M.2 drives, on the other hand, can be placed in a RAID 1 configuration for resiliency when booting the system. As this system runs AMD EPYC CPU's VROC, or Virtual RAID on Motherboard, is not supported because it's an Intel thing. Intel VROC uses the Volume Management Device, or VMD, which is an integrated controller on the Intel CPU architecture. With AMD EPYC processors, instead of using BIOS, you can activate the Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, or UEFI, to use those M.2 drives to boot the system. With a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection through those RJ45 ports on the back of the system, you do have a nice network communications option that could be not just good, but good enough. However, if you need a faster connection, there are options for installing additional NICs in the PCI slots with a 1 gigabit connection all the way up to 200 gigabit Ethernet with dual QSFP 56 ports. You can also install a storage controller if you want a little more control. Additionally, you can install 1 or 2 GPUs in those slots. Apparently, this system can be configured with up to 2 double-width or single-width GPUs with a GPU kit, which includes an air shroud and additional fans. I did not see any TDP ranges for the GPUs listed on this system. GPUs they did list are the NVIDIA A2 GPU with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory and the NVIDIA T4 also with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. Both are single-slot low-power cards. The A2 has a 40 to 60 watt power drain on the system, while the T4 drains about 70 watts of juice. The PCI slots should be sufficient to power directly without the need for a cable for additional power, as they can typically provide 75 watts of power. The NVIDIA A2 has a PCI 4.0x16 interface with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory and features Ampere architecture. The T4 features Turing architecture and requires a PCI 3.0x16 interface. It has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory and is a little older at this point, but both are considered to be energy-efficient solutions for inference, machine learning, and distributed AI training. Surprisingly, the memory bus on the T4 at 256-bit is twice that compared to the A2 at 128-bit. Memory bandwidth is also surprisingly in the T4's favor, with 320 gigabytes compared to 201 gigabytes per second, respectively. Those numbers are an internal measure of the data transfer speed from the actual graphics processing unit module to the GPU's dedicated memory, not the data transfer rate from the GPU to the CPU. For that, the PCI bus is the driver. And that is that for the Supermicro A WIO SuperServer 1014S-WTRT. I mean, I could go on, but my video analytics indicate I might be talking to myself at this point. Not a problem, I do that all the time. If you are interested in learning more about this platform, perhaps you want to configure a system, then check out IT Creations. I placed a few links in the description, or you can use that one right there, itcreations.com. Until next time, I'm Doug Stuman with IT Creations, and thanks for watching.